Hey guys, and welcome back to Budget Nomad. And in this video, we're going to talk about travel insurance. What is best for a budget nomad? Okay, let's get started. Whilst traveling, health is the most important thing to think about and make sure that you've got under control through diet, through insurance, etc. Making sure that you're healthy. For that reason, it's important to pick a good travel insurance as a budget nomad. For the first year, you could just rely on travel insurance from your home country. But if you've been traveling for more than 2 years, you're going to have to look at some other options where you can buy travel insurance on the road. So today I'm going to give you 3 options of the best travel insurance that I found as a budget nomad. These include Genki, Safety Wings, and World Nomads. Okay, let's start with Genki. This is the one I actually use as a budget nomad. I've been using them for about 1.5 years. The reason I picked Genki is it's the best value I've found for the type of cover you get. They offer comprehensive insurance for long-term travellers. They have pricing that's transparent with no hidden fees, and they have great coverage for outpatient, inpatient and emergency treatments, especially repatriation, which we'll talk about later. Their plans start from €35 a month. I pay around €72 a month because I'm 44. For me, Genki offer the best value overall for a budget nomad. The main reason I picked this travel insurance is repatriation. Now let me explain what repatriation is. Let's imagine you're in a car crash in a foreign country, let's say Thailand, and you have been treated, but you need to go home, back to your home country for ongoing treatment. Obviously, you need to get from that country home. Repatriation will include a medical flight. These can cost up to $100,000 depending on where you are in the world. So please bear in mind, you can't really pay for this yourself. If you are going to need to be repatriated, it's going to cost a lot of money and it's unlikely you're going to have those funds available. The other main one that Genki do is direct payment. Now, the last time I used travel insurance was in Peru and I got pneumonia. And thankfully the travel insurance I had at the time made direct payments. I didn't have to worry about it. It was lucky because I only had about $1,000 left. I never really thought about it, that you'd have to pay up front. But thankfully my travel insurance paid direct. Other options we're going to talk about today, like Safety Wings, they don't pay direct. You have to pay up front and then you claim it back. Whereas with Genki, they do direct payments to the hospital. So let's break down the pros and cons of Genki. They're transparent, really good value, they do direct payments, and they do repatriation. And then the main con is they probably have the least of coverage. They don't cover everywhere. Places like Venezuela, Syria, they're not going to cover you for. The next one I'm going to talk about is Safety Wings. They're pretty new to the market, but they've quickly developed quite a good reputation. Insurance is designed for long-term nomads and is well known for its affordability and flexibility. They definitely have more flexibility than, say, Genki. Worldwide travel medical insurance starting at $45, so they are slightly more expensive than, say, Genki. Around $5 to $10 a month. They offer coverage in 175 different countries, as well as your home country for a limited period. In addition, they definitely offer more levels of coverage and different types of coverage that Genki cannot offer. However, I found the main downside to Safety Wings is no direct payment, and there was never really any mention of repatriation. I never got a clear answer as to whether repatriation is included in your policy. It's definitely not as clear as in Genki's. So the main drawback for Safety Wings is that non-direct payment. Unfortunately, it's based on more of the American system, whereas Genki is based on more of the UK system, which is quite frustrating really, because overall Safety Wings actually is a very good insurance. I just don't like the fact I have to pay up front and then claim it back. In that system, it's much more likely that the insurance is going to deny your claim because you're already better. Whereas the direct payment system, you're going to get treated and you're going to get paid, in real time. You're not going to have to claim it 2 or 3 months down the line. So let's talk about the pros and cons. The pros of Safety Wings is it's probably more established and a bigger company than Genki. It offers affordable and more flexible insurance options. However, the real negative is that non-direct payment and not being clear on the repatriations as far as I can tell. I've never really found out clearly if you are going to be repatriated, which is not a nice thing to know when you're paying for travel insurance. The last one on the list is World Nomads, and World Nomads have been around for a long time. They are the most established, they are the largest, and to be honest, they are the best of the 3. But sometimes being the best doesn't mean it's the right choice for you. The downside of it being the best is it is the most expensive by a long way. Although they are the best, the prices are a lot higher. They start around $70 for somebody under 35, and the price goes up from there. For somebody like myself who's paying $72 a month, it's around 120. So, there's quite a difference there in terms of payments. And I don't believe for myself that difference is worthwhile. However, World Nomads offer much more comprehensive insurance for if you're into like snowboarding or surfing. They definitely have a really good coverage, as well as being really genuinely global. They pretty much will cover almost every country in the world, and you can pay for extra options to get more coverage. I mean, if you do want peace of mind, I would definitely go with World Nomads, but it is going to cost you twice as much as Genki. Again, emergency medical and dental care is included, as well as trip cancellation, interruption, and interestingly, gear protection. The other insurance don't really offer this, they're just medical insurance. World Nomads is definitely a more comprehensive travel insurance. It's going to cover you as a person, as well as your gear and any cancellations. The main reason for me not paying that extra for World Nomads is just the fact that a lot of the gear I have is quite cheap and quite replaceable. I don't feel like paying $50-$60 a month is really worth it when my phone only cost $120 and my laptop was $220 second hand. I really don't feel like it's a big thing that I have to replace on myself. But if you do have very expensive equipment as a budget nomad, maybe you do, maybe you don't. If you've got laptops that are worth $5,000, then World Nomads definitely would be the one to go for. So let's break down the pros. Definitely the best and most comprehensive insurance of the three, with it being adventure focused as well as gear protection. And then the only real con is that high price. It's almost 50 or 60% more than you would pay for the first two I mentioned. So let's do a summary. Genki I would recommend for anybody doing city traveling and you're basically a budget nomad working remotely and just doing cities and nothing too adventurous. I would definitely recommend that for the low cost and the comprehensive insurance it gives you. And you just pay a monthly ongoing subscription and it's subscribed for 2 years, so you're locked into that price for 2 years. But after 2 years I would expect the price to go up like it did for me. Safety Wings is definitely somebody who's got more of an emergency cushion, like a big credit card with say $20,000 or $30,000 credit limit on it. I don't have that. I don't have a credit card. So for me, Safety Wings is a very good option, but unfortunately without that direct payment, it just doesn't really work for me as a budget nomad without a credit card. But they definitely do offer a little bit more flexibility and slightly better coverage than say Genki. And then there's World Nomads, which obviously offers the best coverage. And anybody who's into adventure and has expensive equipment, I would definitely recommend paying that extra money to cover what you need. But obviously it is going to come at a price. When choosing travel insurance, think about who you are, what you want to do, and how much you're willing to pay. Think about where you're going to go, what you're going to do as a budget nomad. It really depends on you as a person. You need to plan ahead, look at the coverage, make sure you read the small print. But it really comes down to what you do, what you have, and what you're willing to pay. All three options, Genki, Safety Wings, and World Nomads, are all great options for any digital nomad. The fact that you can buy it after you start traveling is fantastic. And although it is expensive for some of it, your health is the most important thing for anybody in this world. Anybody who tells you money's important, that's nonsense. A billionaire would give up all his money if he could be healthy for the next 100 years. But I always believe that prevention is better than cure. So what I would say is make sure when you travel that you don't drink too much, that you eat well and you sleep well, and you make sure that you stay in safe places. And when you're going to do something adventurous, make sure it's not stupid. So bear in mind, when you're in these places, you are in third world countries, just try and be responsible as you can. Everybody wants to have an adventure, but try and do it in a responsible way. Okay guys, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please remember to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification button, and I'll see you next time.